Alright, we're back again live. It looks like I'm gonna try to like confirm that we on everything is good. Let's make sure of that first. See. How's everyone doing today? It's nice to be back. I actually haven't slept, but gotta keep going. Thanks to everyone that joined in yesterday. It means a lot to me. I'm gonna give a few shout outs to the people that joined yesterday. And shout out goes to Brett Hagen, Anurag Mishra, Old Lazy Lobster, Paul Millsap, and Martin. It's I appreciate you guys for always tuning in and supporting the channel. It means a lot to me. I hope everyone is doing great today. We're back to continue breathing code, doing what we love to do best, and making the world a better place in our own little ways. Yep. And I'm actually pretty pumped, even though I think I'm a little bit sleep deprived. Yeah, let's continue with this. So, yesterday actually, I did make a few changes with Field. So currently, we are passing to kind of like attributes like permissions. We would have permission function. So this essentially just takes an expression, and this takes the function identifier. But I just figured that that's totally unnecessary stuff, and now I'm removing the function fn counterpart of all the attributes. I did that for field attributes already, and I also need to do the same for struct level attribute. So let's do it without further ado. So what else do we got? Yep, looks good to me. Not sure if you know this, but when we first met, then what I can actually do is let's make this full. Let's go to um let's go to field receiver. Let's make this on the other screen. So basically for the struct level stuff, the things we want to change include us. So let's look. Us would be more like, I thought I already had something for it, but let's confirm that. Attribute value. Okay, attribute as. Interesting. Also, nothing is referencing that yet. We can basically use that here. Permissions works. Define. Okay, attribute define. Looks good. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Where's the saver in the end? I'm thinking if I should just take a nap now. But anyway, let's try to do some work before that. Move that. This is gonna be simplified quite a bit. So this. tell you what, since we're getting defined as we've already implemented two tokens for that, we could just do if let sum define equals well define. Is this coming from? We don't even need to parse anything. We could just pretty much take that and define table. Let's see what it's used. Yep. So we can pretty much remove all that and take the same here. Do us and we do the same thing here. It's the same thing for permissions. Okay, this is much simpler now. I think it's fine to actually leave this validation here. It's a simple one. Yeah, one other stuff I was looking to improve is how we're implementing ref node meta. Come here, let's close everything now. I think these should actually be defined on the struct. We did a little bit of cleanup, some cleanups here yesterday, but I actually feel like this part should be part of the field definition, and I'll tell you what I mean. First, let's clean this. Um, So, one thing I'm thinking of is, for example, we're trying to get the connection. Essentially, this should actually be connection implementation, something like that. We get from a simple array, and what does a simple array mean or look like? Let's see the usage. So essentially, we're using it um in the normal type when we're not like referencing to a foreign table. That's when we're using this. However, um if we go to the field, let's close this and go to field receiver. That would be used when every one of this is none, but we have the custom type, the normal field type being basic 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 type. um so I'm actually thinking if we should, so I can show you a little bit more information. If we go down a little bit, yep. I'm probably missing one thing here. Interesting. So what am I missing? And why does my language server not tell me? Oh, I see. I see. That's it. I think so. Okay. Um, that's weird. So we're gonna implement other stuff on the field. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be back soon. Hey, hello, DS931. You're back. Thanks for joining again. I appreciate it. How's it going today in Norway? Is the weather better? Or is it still gloomy? Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back pretty soon. Real soon. You give me the best thing that I ever knew. You give me purpose. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining again. I appreciate it. I'll be back now. I just want to get some energy.
Can I stop you for a second? Is this still pilot mode or is this our information with our members now? Because this does not look like our members. No, these are definitely not our members on the search. But why? Oh, I see what they did. Because those had not been pulled out, Diana, from the members. Those need to be pulled out. Yeah, so we have some, yeah. Those haven't been cleaned up on the website yet. Sorry, guys. So that is actually not a provider number. That's what we consider an industry partner. Is it hard to pull those out? Well, there's not too many of them, but we can go down the list and we can highlight them real quick for you. Plus, it makes me concerned, Diana, to make sure that the members list on here is permanent. Yeah. I really do. Like, look at right here, we've got 8 years, 8 years, payroll.
Hey guys, I'm back. The city council recommended to work from home today. Yay! Nice. Flexing. Because of the extreme weather conditions. Oh, that's crazy. What's the weather like today? What's the temperature? That must be really, really extreme. Yeah, February is quite like a big period in winter. Winter. That's kind of interesting. So, 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 so. Mm, so I'm kind of looking at like moving this to the field definition somehow, and we could have like get ref node meta. Um, we could probably implement it on the struct. It's warm but very rainy. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, didn't you mention yesterday that it's gonna be plus 6 degrees? I think you did. Right. So what's warm? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean warm? Because you might consider 5 degrees warm, 10 degrees warm, 1 degree. Oh, cool. Awesome. 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 Girl, you give me the best gift that I've ever known. You give me purpose every day. You give me purpose everywhere. Oh, oh, you are my everything. Oh, oh, you are my everything. You give me purpose. Yeah. Oh, +5. Okay, that's not bad. But then, I mean, when it's +5, then it's gonna be really, really mushy and slushy and dark. So basically, like winter is over for you guys in spring. I'm thinking of going to the Arctic Circle. So I'm hoping the weather is gonna be still like decent. Otherwise, I'm gonna be mad. Promise to never fall in love with a stranger. You are what I'm thinking of. I cherish every love. I really love you. Oh my life, baby, baby. I prefer someone like you. So I guess I'm just kind of thinking of that I never finally find you. Oh my life, I pray for someone like you. Yes, I pray that you feel the same way too. Ooh, yes, I know that you. Oh, my day has been great. Thanks for asking. I really appreciate that. I didn't, I didn't get to sleep properly last night, so I stopped the stream at like midnight thereabout. But I was having a conversation with my person, and that took extra hour, and I just crashed. So I think I probably slept around 3 a.m. and I wouldn't even consider that sleeping because my mind was still kind of awake and it didn't take long for me. Maybe by 4 I was already up. So I probably need to catch up on sleep. But I mean, I'm good. I'm still kicking it. Thanks for asking. That means a lot to me. So you're in Oslo, right? What's there to do in Oslo? What would you recommend? What would you recommend? Recommend. What would you recommend? Okay, for no matter. I feel like all these should phenotype. Excuse me, my dog distracted me. Okay, that's fine. Um, no, I was just asking about what to do in Oslo, like places to go if I'm in Oslo, because I might actually be in Oslo next month. There is a very high chance. Um, I'll be in Stockholm and I'll be in Tallinn, and I might also just be in Oslo. So, what would you recommend? Is it a good time to visit Oslo? Um, Struct type. I guess I'm just thinking if rather than having everything here, we could just tell you what. Schema. Let's see what we're using here. Normalized field name. Schema type. Normalized field thing. Over here. Also normalized field name. Schema type. And this. So we go for record link. We go for nested object. And we go for simple array. And what else? Let's just shut that. Field definition. Um, so I think for field definition, this should definitely be a method on the field receiver, and we can just call that get definition. Oh, the floating sauna. That's cool. Definitely, we'll check it out. Let me check it out now. Float, floating sauna. Floating sauna. Oh, that's a good idea you just gave to me. I appreciate that. Oh, oh, oh. I probably should learn to swim first. Ooh. It would be nice to go to the archipelagos and just use this floating sauna there. Okay, thanks for that. I appreciate it. Nice. This was a very, this was, this was a perfect idea. Oh my God, thank you for this. I appreciate it. Nice. I'm gonna add that to my list now. To do, let's just call it floating sauna, igloo. Let's call it ma to do Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so then I guess
Appreciate
we
it.
circle back with you, Chad, to review that.
You- Soon you're gonna see me floating in the sauna. I'm definitely doing that. Also doing the igloo thing. I think that's gonna be pretty neat. It's gonna be neat. It's gonna be lit. That's gonna be sick. Sick, 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 sick. So taking self. I wonder why we're using that. Okay. We're setting the field definition. We're setting the type assertion, static assertion. Okay. I think to simplify that, we could take that on the field receiver. So what I'm gonna do basically is we belong together. So this is getting quite big already, but you know what we could do? I could create another stuff and call this DB attributes. Um, DB field attribute. Field attributes. Oh, do we already have that? Nope. DB field attribute. This is so. How about if we do implement field receiver here, and yeah, we could do a couple things. Throw this song for you, so everybody knows. I wish I brought my laptop bed laptop stand out. But I did it, cause I was foolish. Um, so yeah, we can call this get field definition. I think that's what it is really. Field definition meta, or we can call it field definition and assertion. We can separate. We can have get field definition and get field definition assertion, or um, let me see what the assertion looks like. Static assertion, static assertion, static assertions. Static assertions. Value. Get static assertion. Let's see. Because if that's all we've got, then we might as well just create a separate function for it. Get static assertion. That's all we're doing. Yeah, I think it's better to keep the function focused. And we're gonna say we're gonna call this get field definition. Get field definition, right? Can we create a field? Okay, so I'm gonna call this get field get field db or get db field definition def token. Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
Click finance, let me see that you're doing finance, because if I'm working,
So basically,
business object, I mean,
what is this gonna look like? I'm gonna create a. So right now we are stating that as a
I don't think Phil gave me the option to select those,
token stream, but I'm gonna call it struct user wrapper type. Using a wrapper type is just the best. db field def token is a token stream or hmm,
well, can you send me your current list, because I need to know what I'm working with, okay. And then what was the second one that just says end
so
refactoring?
db field def, and
It froze,
now we can copy
yeah, but,
a bunch of
but then,
these first,
but then the next one says ending, I have a
and
question. Okay, so,
you give me the best gift that I've ever known. You give me purpose. Let's close that first. So yeah, we need. The beauty of this is, um, we just need self. So this is gonna be self. Get the type assertion. DB type with assertion. I feel like I should probably separate, but might be good to collocate. So we've got DB type. I don't know why it gives that error, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. We will. What if I go here and DB type? Is it because I've got to do? Um, get a DB type and static assertion. Do I just do get DB type? Or when we get a type, we can assert statically. Or I'm thinking of actually separating these two concepts. The static assertions for the DB type. Oh my god. But the thing is, if you really look at this part, let's see, infer. Where am I inferring? Infer type. What the? Yeah, I'm also getting the static assertion because it makes sense to do that alongside. So, um, I guess we could have, you know what? I'll just separate them. I'm gonna call this get, uh, just do db type. Bam, it's cool. Um, and this gives me the db type, but that shouldn't be optional. So let's return extractor result. Shouldn't be optional. Let's just do get db type. We're still gonna do some error handling here. So do undo error here. Error in case heuristics does not work and user does not specify. Yep. So now let's just okay that. And to simplify the implementation, now we could just do um, db field type, and we don't need all this. All we need really is that gives us the db type. We can remove this. Let's keep it simple, single responsibility kind of vibe. We do that. So first we get the definitions. If the validation might be necessary when the when definition is current is present here. Let's do val- validate field attribute. Um, okay, we've got here in ref node. Let's just steal it. And what if we just bring this down? What are your design guidelines? Do you have any kind of roadmap? For now, my design guideline is just right off the top of my head, and my roadmap is off the top of my head. I know that's not the best, but this has just been a passion project, and I've just let my spirit and soul guide me to the promised land. Yeah, but like I've mentioned in some streams in the past, this has been more so like an experimentation for me, because I mentioned, this project did a lot of like try to do a lot of first principles thing, a lot of things that were called thanks, I appreciate that. A lot of things people tell you about best practices and stuff like that, and I really think, and the reason I avoid reading books like clean code, clean architecture, and all this stuff is I don't want to make someone else's opinion my dogma. So I strongly believe that the best way to learn is to not pursue some kind of design principles, but let them ensue, And that's why I tend to do a lot of. I mean, there's a balance. It doesn't mean you shouldn't learn from others. Um, but you see, on my stream, I do a lot of experimentation. When I'm very confident that this way would work, I just like, why not experiment with this other path? And in the course of doing it, I see, oh, there's a flaw with this pattern, or there's this trade-off, or maybe Rust doesn't yet support this, and that's why I can do it now, but I might be able to do it in the future. Um, so if someone would come to that part of the code, maybe they can make it better in the future if they would get that context. But it would be nice to actually have some kind of like design docs and stuff, for other people to be able to contribute. But this is like more like an experimentation, and you're gonna notice that as I'm streaming, that's like I'm literally figuring things out as I'm streaming. I don't have like a playbook. I don't have like something I'm following. I'm thinking out loud, and sometimes you're gonna see me like take a break, maybe 5 minutes. Um, Not necessarily a break, just not coding, thinking through the problem. And for me, most of the things I try to do is actually think like the developers, like the people that are gonna be using the tools I'm creating. Try to put myself in their shoes and see what kind of limitations they're gonna be facing. That's the fundamental backbone of my decision. I want to know that if I take this pathway, is it going to be saving developers a lot of time and headache? So I shouldn't probably cut this corner. So the way I think about this is, let's say my tool gets popular and there are a million developers using it daily, right? If I make a decision that costs a single developer an extra, let's say 10 minutes, it costs a single developer 10 minutes per day. That's like 10 times a million developers. That's like 10 million minutes I'm wasting of people's time. So I really put that a lot in terms of the ergonomics. So if it's gonna take me a lot more pain to implement it, I think about the trade-off in terms of how much time I will be saving people potential in the future, and just the headache and all that. Oh, let me know. I enjoy watching you code and think out loud. It gives me new ideas on how to do my stuff. Not enough raw streamers. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. That's a that's a beautiful compliment for me. And thank you so much also DS931. I really appreciate you guys support, and and encouragement. You know, I'm just one guy trying to figure it out also. But yeah, let me know what you guys would really like to see here or from me. No, it means a lot to me. Oh yeah, we've been talking about Twitch. We've been talking about Twitch. That's true. You know what? Yeah, I was actually like researching Twitch before this stream because I remember we were talking about this on the last stream, and I was looking into that, and you know what's crazy? I was thinking, okay, I could literally, because right now I'm using OBS, I could literally just have two like instances of OBS open, one for Twitch and one for YouTube. But you know what we're gonna do, guys? I'll try to create a calendar, and we're gonna maybe we coordinate on Discord, and we're gonna have a session where we just focus on my stream. If anyone is willing to help with that, that would mean so much to me. I'll be so glad, and we look for ways to just improve the flow around my streaming, so we can, uh, get people engaging more. I'll stop teasing. Please continue teasing me about teasing me about the stream. But it means a lot to me that you guys are here to support me. My work means nothing without you guys supporting it. So very much appreciated. You are appreciated. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. I really I I'm glad you guys have said that you find it useful, because I've also, like, that was my idea. I wanted to make things as original as possible. As you can see, I'm actually coding right on my bed, so it's close to reality as it could get. um, I hope that can bring some authenticity into my stream, because I don't want to have to change myself much to do what I love. But of course, I'm open to improving things to make them better for you guys. So we got the definition, we've got the array, blah blah blah. We validate. For the validation, actually, it's an associated function. Now the beauty of this is we don't even have to do this, and when we go down here, we have the field receiver. We were using the identifier. Yeah, I mean, just for the error message, right? So I guess, since we've got these, we should be able to get the ident here also, right? It doesn't really matter. We could just, that way we could take that and we can do that, right? Right. So basically, we so the first check is to see that when you're using define, you shouldn't use any of these attribute, because we expect that you define that in the define statement. We might reconsider that. Maybe you want to define some stuff top level generic one, and you want to override them, but I think it will bring more confusion than not. You're way more knowledgeable about Rust than I am, so I'm just learning just watching you do. Oh, 10. That's I appreciate. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, but I'm also just learning just as much as you do. But I'm glad you can learn from this. I'm really happy to help that. That's important to me, that you're able to you find this helpful. That's beautiful. The other thing is, when you're using a relay statement, you shouldn't use any of this definition, because a relay statement is just a read-only field, right? So you shouldn't do that. Do that. So to tell you what, I'm actually thinking we could, like, we're doing a lot of unnecessary stuff. We don't need to pattern match pattern match this because we've changed the way we're doing stuff quite a bit. So what we can do is kinda done. Remove that. Done. Yep. We can do that, right? Um, yeah. And if you guys would share my work to anyone you think might be helpful, I would also appreciate that. Um, if you find it helpful at all. Um, so I could just remove this pretty much. I'll do it a bit tactfully. Take that off. Um, take that off. Remove that. Yep. Let's simplify things a little bit. So now we could basically just say, let's remove this also. Take that off. Now we've got a separate statement and this, so we could flatten things out a little bit. Assert is some, and that's inbuilt stuff. So I don't know. We might want to do assert. Check if that is some. It's gonna throw the error. And we go down a little bit. Let's cut that out. And what else? We belong together. And you know that I'm right. Why did you play with my heart? Why did you play with my mind? Yeah, we're not pattern matching anymore, so we can take that off. Nice. Okay, we need more. One more. And probably up here also we need to remove that. And do we need one more? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. However, we actually should take that off. And yeah, how's that now? So if it's related, you shouldn't have any of these, and if it's defined, you shouldn't have any of this. Basically, that looks good to me. So let's validate field blam. So pretty much we can. Does that return option? There's no need we need to. There's no reason we have to do that, and we could just return an extractor result. Bam, 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 bam. Jesus. We can remove that. Take that off, and let's go harder. Take that off. It's looking good. Yep. Found that. Okay, we just return. Okay, a unit struct or empty or whatever it's called. Expected. Oh, probably should be inside of here. So all we've got to do really get field definition. Yeah, this should also return an extractor results, and for the validation, if we validate, we don't need the value anymore. We're doing something completely different. So take that off, just validate and just gas it up. True. Yep. So we do the validation, and we get every other stuff that we need, right? Yep. So where does this come from? Does this actually work, or does it complain? Because this is Rust stuff. but we don't have field receiver. I don't know why my IDE doesn't complain, or my editor. So we're just gonna do field receiver. This is gonna be self, and now we've got that. Let's check asserts. Oh, I actually have it here. Or did I just paste that? Yeah, I just did. Um, check assert. Now we've got that. It could be optional. Um, yep. Da 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 da. So yeah, we are actually doing the static assertion stuff, and the static assertion is coming from field value. I guess we might want to separate that. So this function can focus on getting the field type, so it's not doing too much. You don't do too much. We can have a separate function just focusing on getting static assertion. So this we can do, like, maybe we could do get um, value static assertion. Um, so actually I have a wrapper type for static assertion. Static assertion token. Oh, I thought. Uh, that is. Do you think we should get them together? Um, that's fine. We actually don't need all this. We don't need all this. We don't need all this. Um, all we need really is yep, value static assertion. At least give me one more night, a million more nights, 'cause I can't sleep without you. Yeah, no. One more night, give me one more night, a million more nights. No, 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 no. 'Cause I can't sleep without you. I love you, my baby, baby boo. I cannot do without you. Baby, can I have you? Choo, choo, choo. No, you turn me on and on and on. I love you, my girl. Girl, no, 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 no. The way you make me feel inside, I cannot deny. Yeah, let's make that the default, and this gives us the value get static assertion, and tell you what, I hope we wouldn't need this db type. Where we getting that from? db type, okay, yeah, we can access that. Yeah, that's the beauty of the new approach we're taking. So tell you what, we could just do get db type, get db type into inner, and oh, tell you what, we need that. Yeah, and so that works. That freaking works. We're doing it. So we get the static assertion for value. We can use that later on. And for this, for the permission, we check the field receiver. We push to that, and what's this meant for? We probably don't need that anymore. And why do we have this array string? That's weird. We are probably using it elsewhere, but not here. I let's see. You're the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. Okay, alright, and feel that makes sense. I kinda get it. I get it. I get it. So array. I wonder. Okay, we've got here array item string. Um. Where's field name normalized? We ain't got that normal. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Remove that on number 9. Field name normalized. Do I have a field name? I thought I had a method on that for getting the field name. Idents, normalize idents. Struct level casing. We're gonna do that then. Of course, we're gonna need let's say table derive attribute table derive attributes. Let's just take a reference to that, and this can table derive struct level casing. Does that return a results? Yep, it does. Let's just price it up. So to be honest, we could just take the derive attribute here directly, but I guess that's okay. Continue tomorrow at night. That was what I did here. I guess we can take that off. Let this function just focus on getting the helps to define blah blah blah. I'm putting comma here before to separate blah 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 blah. Okay, to separate from the top field array type definition in case it is present. Okay, that makes sense. So we could say field idents field ident normalized. Okay. Oh, it returns meta. Weird. Okay. So let's think. Oh, we're interested in the ident. Probably we're interested in the serialized format. Right, let's check. Field new. Yep, we would be interested in the serialized format because that's what we're concerned about. We're not concerned about the way it's written, rather we're concerned about the way it's being serialized. After you think through the heuristics of applying the struct level casing, the field renaming, or the default of just using the way it's written in the code. So you have to take all those things into consideration. So essentially, we've got field definition, and but array definition. That's in case we have array method. If you've got array method, then otherwise, no. So actually, we're gonna be getting array item definition, and we're gonna be getting the Let me tell you what I mean by array field definition. Let's go up. Like, so the way it works in Surreal, basically, let's say you've got a struct called user, and you have like girlfriends. That's an array, right? Um, I can't even think anymore because I said girlfriend. Um, so basically, this is a vector, right? You've got multiple girlfriends. I'm not telling you to have that, but what happens is in Surreal you can do this validation this way. So when you want to validate girlfriend field, you can say when you're define field girlfriend. Now they've actually improved this algorithm a little bit. Then you can say type is an array. You can say type array. Previously, you would say type array, and for you to say the array item type, you would then say girlfriend, and you use this um, wildcard asterisk sign, and then you'd say string. So this was how it actually works, and it still does support this, but now it's more robust, and you can actually just do. So this was old, then the new you can just pretty much do um, like define this. So the new approach support this, and I also support this. I've implemented a parser for this, and that's why I'm still supporting that kind of that stuff. So just to give you guys some background. Yep. Let's close that. Shut that. Field ident normalized. Okay. So we're interested in a serialized version. And what if we go to, let's save this first, close everything else, ref node, meta, see the way we're using this to be sure. This the so we have array field define method and array. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so what we're doing is to, for the field definition, we were separating that with a comma because it's optional, right? So that way you could have the definition for the two. But I'm actually thinking it's better to return a vector for this, or we can return a tuple that says the field definition and also array item definition, and that can be optional. So that's what we're gonna do maybe now. So let's see what we're returning here. Field definition. I think it's easier to reason about things that way. Okay, so that way we don't have to do something messy like this. Get field definition. So this could be the field item type, and you know it's actually interesting. We can do something neat here because the item type is an implementation detail. The reason why we would use vector here is we might want to even give a user the ability to add an arbitrary number of an arbitrary number of validation. So let's say you want to add like more assertion, we might actually want to give the user that power to do that. There's no reason why we couldn't do that. So with that in mind, so I'm gonna say get field definitions. So let's say you could have like multiple definitions, the basic ones, and rather than calling that item definitions, okay, we could have item, then we could also have like other definitions, right? But for now, I'm gonna return a vector. I'm gonna return a vector. So that way we can keep things fairly simple. Um, so we can say all, all definitions. Field definition. So if it's empty, yep. Um, we take this and um, we're gonna take that. Okay. Um, tell you what. Then I'm gonna remove that. I'm just gonna simplify this and say if it's not empty. Oh my god. Um, if it's not empty, you know, we could just we can pretty much take this in. And if you def field definitions. Oh man. Field def. Hey Shaif All Gantang, how's it going? How are you doing today? Thanks for joining the stream. Field definition. Maybe field define statement. Just define field statement. Checking.
Yeah, I'll set up the I don't know, wake. I'll just start with click wake up. Cause there's only 3 on here, so yeah, I'll just start here. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So there's yeah, Arkansas, Florida, South Carolina, Texas. And so these are unfortunately they didn't put them all in one, so it's one tile market with late nothing as a penalty here. It's gonna turn out to be like what 10 sites, maybe 7, 8, no, yeah, that'll turn out to be 10 sites, 10 URLs deleting straight. Yeah, from the one ownership. Yep. Yeah. All right, sounds good. Yep. So all I'm gonna do is write down on the whiteboard the column names that we're keeping, and that's all the information I'm gonna look for. Sure.
Different.
In the staging table. Sure. So you just do
Yeah.
select
So where do we
star.
have this? We don't need that.
Should be at the end. Yeah, I see it. No, gray box there
Hmm.
because it's on. Yeah. And you put it in the production table as well. Yeah.
Oh man. You might even write time permission.
There must have been a
Yep. So this actually, I'm kind of happy with this because I feel like this would significantly simplify things quite a bit. I'm not using this, so I can remove that. I'm using that.
what is what table over here? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that is good. Yep, I see it in this one.
Honestly, I don't need to push anything. I can simply just um, refactor.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
I think I
conditionally
missed
doing
the
that.
door
I'm just gonna leave that anyway. Mm. And that was mostly what we're doing here.
I'll talk to you later, Chief.
Like that's literally what we're doing here. Field definition. Like this is totally unnecessary. And this is gonna make our stuff so much easier to follow, and you can pretty much remove this because that's what it's meant for. It's more specific now. um, so now we'll go to this, and they were using that in the parser. Yeah, this is totally unnecessary. This is just getting field definition. But I'm glad we'll be able to delete all this code soon. But now I'm looking at the most logical place to move this. Remove field definition notation. This node meta struct. Ooh, man, kind of tired, man. I need some sleep. I'm actually not tired. I'm not tired. Nor am I sleepy. I'm just sleep deprived. And I literally want to work 50 hours more. Like, I don't care. I I have the strength to go 50 hours non-stop more. Um, and I'm not sleeping actually, but it's hard to cheat nature. Um, so from simple array, basically what we're trying to do here is get connection. Like that's what we're trying to do, get field connection. So these are just implementation details. So this is get simple array connection. Um, so we can have the first one we did now was db field attribute. I think we might actually want to uh, rename that as db field definition. Define statement. Let me just say yeah, why not? Ice. I need someone to sleep on my behalf. Would someone sleep for me? I don't want to sleep, honestly. I just want to work. I just want to work. Um, so we can call these. Let's think about the bottom line of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get connection, field connection, um, field connection. Oh, should I call this field reference? Foreign field connection or field link. Link method. Yeah, maybe that can fly. Yeah. So essentially, let's take that off first. We could definitely implement this on the field receiver. Um, but I just want to focus on simplicity. Uh, so if you really think about this, what we're updating here, for the connection, we're gonna need an import. We're gonna need a validator. We need link alias method, and this, and a bunch of stuff are optional. That's the link is the most important thing. The link, and I believe the import. Schema type indent, we don't even have to do that because we're already implementing that. So like what we're essentially doing here is getting the link, and this is only relevant when you have uh, potentially something you could reference the foreign field, but that's usually you need that when you have a foreign field, like when you're using a relay statement or a link or an embedded object if you're trying to traverse that. However, however, when you have a simple vector, like a vector of a string, you might want to actually query that also, and I want to allow that. So, and not just do I want to allow that, I actually support that. DS931, I can sleep on your behalf, man. It's almost two. Yeah, I would appreciate that. But if this is also your sleeping time, so you have to sleep on my behalf outside of your sleeping time, then that would count. Then I would feel invigorated, energized, revitalized, and mm, one thing I've been struggling with over the years is actually telling my brain to sleep. Even when I try to sleep, my brain doesn't want to sleep because I do really genuinely enjoy what I do. That it's really hard for me to want to sleep. Like I want to do it all the time. Of course, I have to be more disciplined to get some rest. I was doing a little bit better at that, but I've kind of like backslid a little bit lately, in the past couple of weeks. But I hope to be able to get back to that, and that's partly because I've also been traveling and I've got upcoming trips. Um, let's see. I can't complain. I'm pretty pumped to be honest. To be honest, to be honest, to be honest, to be honest. If it's least, then we want to do that. So I believe rather than doing this from nested, pretty much this is whether or not you're using objects, and let's confirm that. If we go to from nested, we so you would see the way we're using it. It's pretty much we're using with nested object or nested array. Can you see? So rather than doing that, in my opinion, it makes more sense to implement it on um, the type itself. Like we go to field receiver. Like I think it might actually make sense to implement the. We're trying to get the connection method. That's the link method. That's the fundamental thing we're trying to do. So it makes sense to implement it directly on this. Granted, some of them actually share the same logic, but then we could use trait to share the logic. Um, so it would make sense to implement it on individual type. However, that would require us to use extra higher level wrapper type around them so that they can be unique, and that's a better trade-off for me in my opinion. So if you think about this, if you try to think through this, you're trying to traverse this graph, right? The situation whereby or scenario whereby you would have to do that would be pretty much this, right? But not necessarily when you have the basic, like the main, don't let me call it basic, but actually the real type. And we might want to before I forget, I'm actually contemplating. So right now, how are we how are we parsing the type? Why wouldn't this fold here? Anyway, okay, I'm not even sure we're implementing. We should have from meta, but we could also implement is it parse stream or parser um, for no, not that. That's, I think it's parse stream. Parse stream. Yeah. Oh, that's a type. I've been using that a lot. How can I forget it? How can I forget? Or is it parser? Hmm. Let me actually it might be parser, but let's see how I've been using that. You are my remedy. Yeah, yeah, no, 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 no. Query builder, I think I used it here quite a bit, B. I should have just deleted that. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. should have deleted. Oh yeah. What am I doing now? Yeah, it's parse. That's from saying parse, right? So yeah, I was right. Okay. Yep. So that's what we need to do, and that's use parse stream. All right, just skip that, and let's write our comment to do and do type person type actually type person, but that's if this doesn't work out of the box. I think this should work, but if from meta does not work or manually from meta, let's just keep that there. Pam. So let's focus on the links again. Let's no, I'll just close everything. Every step I take, every move I make, every single day, every time I fail, I'll be missing you. Thinking of the day when you went away. I'll be missing you. Yeah, tell me why. So, in that situation, I think it probably makes sense to implement on the type. Let's go to field receiver again. But sometimes we actually want the same thing on the basic type. So when there are no relation. So it got me also thinking a good another good location might also be on the relation type itself. So let's check relations. This is another good candidate. I think it's called relations. So we can actually implement it on as a method on this enum. So depending on the relation type, we're gonna get a different link, and because at the end of the day, I think it's actually mostly logically or most appropriately belongs to this type, this because we are getting the connection string, and the connection or the link method, the links are actually related to the relation, right? Basically the links are quite literally the relation. So, oh my god, guys, pardon me. Whoa, they are quite literally the relation, so we might as well implement it on this method. I'm thinking of discoverability, but if we implement it as a method, then it's gonna be a lot. And if I'm using the wrapper type everywhere, it might get also a little bit messy. But then I can just create a unique wrapper type and implement the ref for every one of them, then or use a trait system or just use macro system to get around that, to cut down so we can eat our cakes and have it. So if we implement directly on this, the upside of that is that it's gonna be easy to reason about. Um, that's one upside. So let me see. I need to do a little bit of experimentation now. Destination node type original. Um, let me see what that looks like. That's essentially custom type. Um, can I call that link one type, link many, next object? Then, yeah, I think that might actually be cool. Then when I have them, let me go back to the implementation. Um, mm, 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 mm. Voila, voila. Take that off first. Where were they implemented again? My brain is getting foggy. Let's close that. Save and close. Um, those. Let's see. Oh, ref node, meta. So yeah, we need for an array, and let's try to map the mental model between them. So let's do for a simple array would be for a basic type, and that would only be if the basic type is an array. So when it's none, we want to check if it's an array, then we implement this. Um, so that would be no link. No link. For the no link type, we could have a basic type. I know what to do. So we have the array for that. For the record link, we're using it for multiple, using this list, but quite we can separate that. We can have this for link one and link self. Then for when it's list, we can have that for link many. And same thing for nested. When it's not list, we can use for nest object. When it's list, we use nest array. Then what I'm gonna call this is the basic type, and actually maybe not the basic type. When we're talking about the relation type, I could have I could add one and say a list, a list, a basic list. Right. So let's see how that would look like when we go to relation. Can we add something called basic or list? Just and that can just be a custom type. You know, you can use basic, simple, list simple. I'm very terrible with naming things. Yep. So now we can implement all the method on this. And how do we get the relation type on that? So that would be either each like one of these, or let's have if it's none of that. Tell you what, we don't need this because we're not gonna be getting an attribute there. What we're gonna do is I mean, we can just actually leave that and do if field receiver is list. We can do list Um, so we need the type. Oh, actually, I should have. Okay, I'm just gonna go to. Do we need the type? Let's go up a little bit. Field. It just returns field. We don't actually need the type information here. I don't think. But we need the identifier. Yeah, but that's not a problem. We can. It doesn't hurt to have the metadata. Otherwise, we're just gonna use like a unit struct. That's yeah. Yeah. You know what? Ouch. 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 I could just list simple could just be we don't even need a type. Because we're not using any annotation on it, and we don't even need any type info. So I think it should suffice to just do that. The reason I'm using the struct is to be able to implement a method on it. List simple. Oh no. Oh, basic list. Yeah. Yep. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Yeah, I'm actually pretty pumped. So now we can implement the connections. We can implement the connections now. Can we can keep each other company. Can we can no, keep each other company. Can we can keep each other company. Can we add a new relation type simple list? Not really relation. Yep. Yep. I'm thinking if I should just like implement directly on this. But if I do that, how large is it? If it's quite large, then maybe not. But the benefit is that we would be able to reuse quite easily. So we've got how many lines from that? Rob. Oh, it's already quite huge, you know. But I figured that it might actually be nice to collocate things. Simple array. Oh baby, please, let's leave the past behind us, so that we can know where love will find us. I don't want war between us, but I know you won't believe me. Maybe I wish we were 17, so I can hear the sand that you give to me. I would have done all the things I've done. Never knew one day you come. Never knew one day you It's actually not that large. But I wouldn't want to put them within the same location. You know, let's think this through. Should we make it a method on the relation type? This is what I mean, by the way. We can do implement relation type, and yeah, we could do um get field type. I mean get field linking or link method. So this would take a relation type and let's create a wrapper type around the relation connection foreign foreign connection linker method token. Damn. Token. Yeah, this should be that. So this would return the link. I'll probably start the name. So the benefit of that is you could do something like, yeah. So this is what this is something I'm looking at, something like this. So it's gonna keep it clean. So we can have a trait, or we don't even have to have a trait. We just need to. I think this would be a good way to go. I think so. I think. I think. I think. I think. So on link one, for example, we could just do destination original, but then we need to implement the wrapper type around every one of them. Yep. If we want a distinction, so I think that's actually a good thing to do. And I'm just gonna bite the bullet now. So let's go to the type definition, and we are going to field receiver. So first we have replace server blah blah blah. So let's start with we're gonna call the first. Why don't we just take this up instead and call this construct link one destination link one attribute tag asset tag. What? Why wouldn't that? Okay. Thank you. Create things and since I think that's what we're using in everything, right? You don't really need to create separate one for. So these can be destination node type original. Oh, I see. Yeah, and with that we can so now we can basically, so yeah, this can be link one attribute, this can be link self attribute, link many okay. So now that we have this, we can then start doing something dangerous. Let's start with self. These two will share the same implementation. So we go to ref node meta. I believe that's been done in record link. Let's do the low hanging fruit, which is like a simple array, right? Where we just pretty much take it out. So rather than implementing it here, we could, but then it's gonna make this a little bit dirty. So we do list simple, and we can do pub on get field link method, and that requires normalized field name. If we could have access to the field receiver, should we should we implement this on the field receiver? No, let's implement it here. And of course, we could also pass the field receiver to all the types. Just pass self as second argument. We can definitely do that, but I don't think it's a good idea. It's totally fine to do this field receiver. My field receiver, and we need even though we need just the normalized field name, We would then say normalized field name. That could be field ident. That could be field receiver. Normalized ident. Oh, then that's gonna also need a table derive. So do we want to just pass the normalized field name? It might actually be better. Yeah. Yep. Because after this, we'll still need to go deeper. Depends on what we're actually using this for. Serialized or the raw underscore. So let's see what we're using it for. Normalized field name. Yeah, we actually need a serialized version, and we're actually more interested in the serialized version. Yeah, that's what we're interested in. Normalized field. Normalized. Serialized. Or we can just call this DB field name. DB field. Serialized. I'm terrible with naming, I swear. So, no, we need the second one field. Yeah, this is what we need. So if we just take the field ident serialized, we might have to rename that. I'm just terrible with naming. Field ident serialized. Okay, we actually need both. So we can take I mean, it depends on what the others take. But the benefit of I might honestly gravitate towards just passing the field receiver. What name? Hey, what are you working on? I'm working on. That's a good question. Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate you for joining. I'm working on. I'm working with Rust, and I'm working on a database tooling framework because it's more than a library. So it's a query builder, it's a static raw query checker, and it's also an ORM. It's also a migration tooling, fully automated schema migration tooling, and yeah, it uses a lot of novel approaches to things. If you check the README, you're gonna see some stuff. So let me show you a little bit from the README. This is the README. I can copy it to you. Du-du-dum. Du-du-dum, du-du-dum, du-du-dum. Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Du-du-du-du-du-du-du. Du-du-du-du-du-du. Let me show you a little bit from the README. This is the README. I can copy it to you. So that's the. You can get more information, and this is the project. And right now it's supporting a graph database called SurrealDB, and I am not affiliated to SurrealDB. I don't work for them. I have no relationship with them. It's supporting SurrealDB right now, and the plan is to support other databases in the future. So that's the TLDR of this. I'm gonna mute this. So that's really basically what it is. And does that answer your question? You can. I'm actually writing a book, so and the documentation is quite comprehensive. You can also check the README. I believe the README can get you like very far. Rust is well, it's relatively new, even though to say it's new is kind of interesting because I think Rust hit 1.0 in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, and Rust has been. It really started in um, 2009 or 10. So um, it's from 1.0. It's about 9 years now. It's quite trendy. It's trendy, and it's trendy for a reason. And for me, I haven't worked with maybe 9 languages. It's it's my favorite language, you know. And sometimes people try to guilt you for having a favorite language. They say you shouldn't fall in love with your tool, fall in love with the problem. But why can't you do both? I think it's a cope that we like to give ourselves that the tools don't matter. When people can have preferences for cars, preferences for other stuff, why can't you have preferences for your tool? If the tool you work with actually gives you joy, makes you very efficient, makes you reason about your code very well, then it's okay to actually fall in love with your tool. Um, so I hope that answers your question. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. You know what? I'm just gonna do field receiver and normalize idents to get struct level casing. We'll do this and we'll get struct level casing. We'll wire that up, and because of that, we would have to actually take an extractor result. Oh, you're learning React. That's cool. React is cool. I've stopped using React because I don't use TypeScript anymore for any of my work. I I actually have a very large TypeScript project I was working on. DS931 gotta go now. Have a great day, everyone. I appreciate you for joining DS931. You are the real MVP. Thanks for joining. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope the weather treats you nicely. Have a safe one and sweet dream. Sweet dreams. Um, normalize item, normalize field meta, normalize field meta, field struct. So I'm really doing badly with the naming. we need to make this naming consistent. I swear. I swear by the moon and maybe I should stop focusing on the details and focus on um, the the problem it solves. What would you recommend after React.js, Next.js, or TypeScript? What would I recommend after React? Well, what do you want to do? I think it's hard to tell because I started working with JavaScript. Although I work with JavaScript very briefly, at the end of the day, JavaScript is TypeScript. TypeScript is just a superset. I started working with JavaScript before TypeScript though, and so it's hard for me to tell if starting out with TypeScript wouldn't create some kind of like inertia, like mental barriers for you. And also, it depends on your background. Have you worked with other languages before? But I think TypeScript is actually quite easy to get started with. You can just pretty much use any everywhere. Um, so after that, Next.js, I think Next.js is good. It's not bad since you can just run the CLI and get started and start building, and maybe later on you can learn the details. I think that's a very decent way to start learning. So you don't have to focus on the nitty gritty, and that can give you a good feedback loop to keep pushing and keep learning and keep getting better. So I used to do quite a bit of like TypeScript, React videos. If you see my videos from like 5 years ago, 5, 6 years ago, I was doing a lot of that. Um, yep. I never knew what love could do to us. Yours forever. Finally the truth when I met you. Now my heart, yours forever. You're the one I wanna dance with for the rest of my life. I think these are the two important ones. Okay, maybe the alias also. You're the one I wanna hold, never let go. Say link method meta. Without you, I'll be alone. Without you, I'll be. I need you by my side for the rest of my life. Without you, I'll be. Need you. Do I have to be really good in JS to get started with TS? No, I wouldn't say so. TS you can pretty much use any everywhere, and you don't have to use the complex type. You don't have to write complex types when you're starting. The libraries that you're using, the framework you're using will do the heavy lifting for you. So you don't have to worry about that when you're getting started. Without you, I will leave. I need you by my side for the rest of my life. Without you, I'll be. Without you, need you by my side for the rest of my life. I need you by my side for the rest of my life. I need you by my side. I think this record stuff now is only used by the record, but I'm gonna confirm that. So you will see record link default. No type validator. Okay. In this parade, when I find you. Somebody please stay stuttering. Oh, nothing else. Well, it's just reality. You're the one I wanna dance with for the rest of my life. You're the one I wanna hold, never let go. Without you, holding on. Without you, I need you by my side for the rest of my life. Need you by my side for the rest of my life. When I found you. Somebody please these are the reams. Oh, nothing else. Will it just reality? Will it just reality? Yeah. You're the one I wanna dance with for the rest of my life. Never let go. You're the one I wanna dance with. I wanna dance. I wanna dance. I wanna dance. Without you, I'll be. Without you, I need you by my side for the rest of my life. Without you, I'll be. Yep, so able to the schema type, I believe that from the link node, it makes sense, and we are using that as a foreign import and the bracket link. But if we go to the parser again, yes, we go transit line. Don't know. I think we don't need to use our else here because this is not really expensive stuff. Or else does lazy, it lazily calls that, but this does eager calling. But since we're just basically invoking the simple stuff, probably not a big deal, I think. But it's gonna create a new error message. We could go to see the implementation and see if it's expensive. I didn't want to do that because it's gonna slow down my IDE a little bit. So let's. It doesn't matter. It's just we can. It's not that expensive, but we can lazily evaluate it. Now my ID is frozen. I was trying to avoid this. Oh. Yeah, let's go to the parser. I wanted to see what I'm using for. I'm so glad because with these we're gonna clean up this part so much. We would be able to remove pretty much all these. I'm so excited. I it's gonna improve this so much, and in fact we would be able to improve this also. Update field blah 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 blah. Oh, this is gonna be just a method on the field receiver. I'm so glad we'll be able to clean this up so much. And also type custom implementation, it's gonna be a method. And so the ref node, for the relates, it's actually quite interesting. We're not doing anything to that. What does default do? Oh, so I'm surprised. Oh, so we have its own separate stuff. We would have to take that into consideration. Okay, so this is for the node meta. It's a little bit more involved. Yeah, it's more, it's much more intense. Yeah, but we'll deal with this. I Let me see if I can order something to grab to here now. So the link for this is much more like complex, and um, we're gonna implement this on relate statements, so it's gonna be easy to discover. Guys, I'm just taking a short break, seeing if I can grab something to order. how important is data structures and algorithm DSA and any good resources to prepare for some. How important it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get into fang? If you're trying to get into fang, then it's basically compulsory. And I think besides that, is even though people like to shit on data structures and algorithm and it shouldn't be used at the interview, I actually disagree with that. I actually think data structures and algorithms are very good to know, like at least understand the fundamentals and not necessarily maybe getting to memorize every algorithm, but know what different algorithms do, when to use them, like the basic ones, like the certain algorithms, stacks, array, queues, trees, graphs, and heaps, and understanding um, just understanding those the structure can go a long way. Breadth first search, depth first search, traversal. When you start developing something as complex as SurrealORM, how do you plan the code structure, design up front? Have UML diagrams ever been beneficial in this regard to you? Um, I'm pretty sure they can be beneficial, but the way I plan is I don't really plan. Honestly, I think I'm a very planless person, but I am extremely obsessed with the problem I'm interested in. So I think obsession is more important than um, extreme planning. Because when you're obsessed with the problem, you think about it every time. Like when I'm sleeping, I'm literally thinking about it. So this way, you know, I'm not really the kind of person that spends, 10 years writing this design docs. I'm the kind of person that once I have the general idea in my head, I have the the framework, the conception, the concept in my mind, what I'm trying to achieve, high level idea. The first thing I do is first principle thinking. I don't think about best practices. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care about best practices because best practices are just someone's opinion, right? They're just dogma of someone else's opinion. So I think about first principle. That's all I care about. Like that was what led me to doing Surreal-orm. I think, okay, why do people do things this way? It doesn't seem ideal to me how things have been done this way. Why couldn't things be done this way, even though it's never been done before? Then I only just think through uh, the limitation, fundamental limitation, technical limitations. Could it be that maybe before there was a different context why something couldn't be done, and there's a different context now, and maybe it could be done now? What's the fundamental technical, physical, like law of nature that is stopping this from being possible? Then I think through the most important components of what I'm trying to implement. Oh, to have this compile time, blah blah blah, to do this. Is there any way I couldn't access this from the syntax tree? Is there there's really no, even if there is no library solving that problem at that point, I would think that there is no fundamental reason this couldn't be done. Once I think that through, I just look at the most basic component of what I'm trying to do, just like a proof of concept, right? This could be done within a day or two. You just experiment. In fact, within few hours, you put some code down. You can already start getting an idea of what's possible and what's not possible, and what's difficult and what's not difficult. And for me, usually I don't like starting with the low hanging fruit. I like starting with the high hanging fruit. If that's a thing. So that would help me think about the surface area of the problem better. And for me, I just get very obsessed with the problem I'm solving. So I believe that over planning um, hinders my progress and growth. So I try not to spend too much time planning. I just dive in and I figure things out as I go, right? So if you watch my stream, I literally figure them out. I don't like I literally figure them out while I'm streaming. So that's what I found that worked for me. It doesn't mean this is universally true or optimal, but this is what works for me. That's really interesting to hear. Yeah, I appreciate that. But I believe UML diagrams can also be helpful. Sometimes I do that, just okay. Um, I don't even think in terms of the kind of like diagrams. I just think in terms of what I'm trying to solve. This is a table. This is another table. How can we link them? What component are we gonna need? We're gonna need embedded objects. How can we traverse the embedded objects? Where in this code would this fit in? Then okay, we're gonna need a referential data. How do we undo pointers? Okay, how do we traverse that? How do we undo a situation whereby the data is not fully loaded? You only have the keys, basically the pointers. Just think through all those things. And um, another stuff is like, in my opinion, in my own personal experience, I don't pursue design patterns. I let them ensue, like I let them emerge. Other programmers have been opposed to using class diagram. For example, they said that the program structure changes a lot when you start implementing it, and then you have to keep going back and forth. Exactly. Like, in fact, what I'm working on, you see that I'm changing a lot of things. That's why I mean that you don't force the design patterns. You let it emerge. Like when you do it, it might work, but it's gonna feel awkward to you. So like I guess over time you just develop some kind of like good intuition when you've like written literally millions of lines of code, and you develop some kind of like good instinct and intuition as to what works. So I might be using different design patterns. Fact, I'm sure in this project I've used like visitor patterns, I've used adaptive factory patterns and stuff. But I don't even think in terms of the design patterns. I just think in terms of the problem I'm solving, solve them, and think, is there a better way to solve this? And it might happen that now I'm using the factory pattern, you know, or I'm using the observer pattern. So I think it's the same way that if you're learning boxing without actually going uh, into the arena, you can say so much theory about how to box, but everybody has a plan until they get it in the face. That's exactly how I see that also. Guys, I'm just taking a break because I haven't slept yet. How did you learn all the vocabulary related to RMs? I'll struggle giving variable a proper name. That's a very good question. Yeah. Um, how did I learn all the vocabulary? The interesting thing is I developed a lot of the vocabulary because before I embark on a project, I usually have like a very, and I think that's the benefit of thinking from like first principles, because first principles actually helps you not constrain yourself by historical limitations or so-called best practices, right? And when you're obsessed with a problem, you kind of get clarity. So even though I've been working on this project for 14 months, I've had like very good clarity on what I'm trying to achieve. And sometimes some things, some new stuff, some new patterns emerge, and you kind of like rework some ideas here and there. But by and large, I've had like very good clarity around the problem I'm solving. So a lot of the vocabularies I've been developing them by thinking from first principles, and also thinking about my users, which would be developer. So it also helps that myself, I'm a software engineer that builds app and websites and web apps and stuff, and I've worked with ORMs across multiple languages. So it also helps that I'm building tools for myself, right? So I'm building things that I want to exist in the world, building them for myself. So when you already have a user and customer, you kind of develop a good framework around being the builder or the implementer, and also being the user at the same time. So that helps me think about the variable in a way that matters a lot. And actually, I think as three people, um, the implementer or the inventor, the contributor, and also the user, the software engineer that would leverage my tool to build their web apps or mobile app or backend stuff. So this helps. I put myself in the shoes of all these people. And the other benefit of what I do is I've always been a very big proponent of testing. So over the years, I've developed very good instincts and intuition around like doing end-to-end integration testing. So one benefit of writing tests is that automated tests is that it actually forces you to rethink your API. It forces you to it pushes you to be in the shoes of the user, especially when you're writing through integrated or end-to-end test without mocking. Like it forces you to reason, to put yourself in the shoes of the user, and when you're doing that, you are able to think about your public API in a way that is more ergonomic. And so I also mentioned earlier in the stream, for every slight decision I make in Surreal-orm, I obsess over every detail, like the things that you would literally think is irrelevant. I spend hours, nights, days thinking about them. That okay, how would this reduce um, the dev experience of the people I'm building this for? Yesterday, for example, I did some consolidation of some attributes. I was thinking out loud throughout the stream, and I was thinking about this throughout the night. And I tell you that I've been thinking about this same thing for months before I came to a conclusion that okay, I can actually eat my cake and have it. And this is what I'm trying to do with Surreal-orm also. I'm trying to eat my cake and have it because many times we think about trade-offs, either or, and that's very valid. A lot of things in life are like trade-offs, but sometimes trade-offs don't necessarily mean um, mutual exclusivity. It doesn't mean because you're making a trade-off, you have to sacrifice between these two things. It can just it could be probably between three, four more stuff, right? And you can still have two of the four or five more stuff, right? But I think people by default wanting to think about trade-off as binary also limits people's imagination when building API. So I just think about first principles and the users, and those are the things I use as my first principles, the user, and obsession with what I'm genuinely interested in building, and those are my guiding principles. And like just flexibility, not following the rules, just learning from the field, getting shot in my foot, figuring it out, spending hours, days, years debugging, and you know, I've debugged a lot of things, and I've learned a lot more from the problems than I've learned from the solutions. So, and it also helps that I am extremely patient. So I could face a problem for literally months, and I'm as long as I believe within myself that this problem I'm facing, I still care about it. It's still necessary. It's still important. I won't stop until I figure it out. I'm obsessed with the things I do. I don't think I ever got a better answer on these questions. Oh, thanks. thanks. Thanks for the. I take that as a compliment. Thanks for the compliment. It's it's same. Did I get the pronunciation right? And I appreciate you for joining the stream. Where are you chatting from? How did you find the channel? And yeah, keep bringing up the questions. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to help, and that's why I'm doing all this stuff. I really want to share not just my knowledge. I want to share my projects and with the world, just make people's life easier. I want to provide values to my fellow humans, and that is really what makes me genuinely happy. I want to live life for everyone around me and make life better for people and easier. Woo! You two recommended me, and you're happy for it. I'm so appreciative of that. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. You know, I'm just one man in Ohio. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not in Ohio. I'm just one man, just trying to do my stuff and figuring things out. But yeah, I appreciate that. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Um, I like chiming in sometimes to see how other engineers approach problems. Oh yeah, that's true. It's nice to see. I also like read a lot of source code. In fact, at some point, I started like if I wanted to dive into a project, I don't read like the source. I don't read the documentation anymore. I only read the source code, and I still like that's really what I do mostly because the documentation can go out of sync. Yeah, thanks a lot. That means a lot. Where are you chatting from? Yep, yep, yep. So this is gonna be another stuff. But you see, because when you're dealing with the edge, it's a lot more complex, and it's actually gonna get a little bit more complex because now we are not just dealing with the identifier of the edge and the destination like we were, but we also have to take care of the lifetime generics and the normal generics and also the generics bound and the lifetime bound and also the trait bounds. Oh, Bosnia, that's cool. And Herzegovina. I hope I got that right. That's cool. Like I've been before COVID hit, I wanted to do a tour around Eastern Europe, and Bosnia would be one of those places. But I'm still planning. I have a lot of traveling to do. I've been saying I have plans to go Turkey, Lithuania, Latvia, Slovakia, Slovenia, Romania, Latvia. Did I mention Latvia already? Serbia, Bosnia, and Armenia. Those are the places I would like to visit. I've never had accent like yours. Where are you from? What does my accent sound like? I'm actually from. So I'm originally my ethnicity is called something Yoruba. It's like a nomadic tribe, originally from like West Africa, and but I I am basically in between North America and Northern Europe, and that's where I've been in the last, um, you know, part of my larger part of my life. Yeah, my accent is weird, right? I hope you can still hear me clearly, anyways. But you can hear me clearly. Let me know, and then I'm gonna try to make it better. So, oh, did I actually delete edge direction? Okay, yeah, we've got it. My pleasure, my pleasure. I appreciate you for like joining in, for asking questions. It means a lot to me. And when I come to Bosnia, I hope you guys are gonna host me. I'm planning my Euro tour soon. So, do you work with Rust also? So now we're actually gonna support generics and a bunch of other stuff here. So this is quite a lot of stuff. Um, yep. Create static assertions. That would be on relate statements, and this would be custom type. Now we're just gonna pass like a field receiver here, and my voice is a little bit low. Your voice is a little bit low, but I got my voice volume master turned up to, so it's good. Oh, cool. But let me check that. Is it better now? Eh, I'm so upset. Can you hear me now? Is it better? I believe in you. Visiting Bosnia and Turkey is something I can definitely recommend. I've been in Turkey too. I had a great time in Istanbul and Konya and Cappadocia. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was actually speaking with one of my subscribers in like my previous streams, and I don't know, and they were recommending, she or he was recommending visiting Turkey, because actually, two of my siblings have been in Turkey also, and they also recommended that. Oh, thanks. We're also gonna start our. Who mentioned this yesterday? I think it was DS931. We're starting KDD, and KDD basically means driven development. Like you can imagine that. Imagine what we're gonna create. So we're starting driven development. Uh, oh my god. I appreciate you for tuning in. I will die for you. Yeah, that's funny, right? I thought that was funny also. Karaoke driven developing. But I'm traveling at the moment. Once I get home, I have my guitarist. I also play the guitar to some extent, and ooh, I feel a little bit of ache on my chest, and also ooh, my partner plays the piano, so probably do a little bit of karaoke. Yeah, I'm actually working on some songs that I'm gonna release this year. You make everything that used to seem so big seems to be so small since you arrived. An angel sweet, an angelic confirmation, angel sweet, like a diamond in the sky. Now I know, no matter what the question, love is the answer, and it's reading an angel sweet. Yeah, so for these, so that would be get link imports, alias import. I don't program in Rust. I do reverse engineering and mostly do Python, C++, assembly. Ooh, those are some crazy low level shit. That's cool. That's cool. So, do you think you're interested in Rust also? Have you found yourself being interested in Rust? So we can take these to link, field link, whatever. Link method. Okay. So we can do this for link. We can do implement link one. Let's do link self attribute. So now we don't have to say is list and stuff. We can just, but let's copy that, and you may have a 10 that used to seem so big. This would be link many, and so now we don't have to do this because we know we're doing this for. So we can just pretty much do dum. Yep. Or what am I doing? Yeah, that's a lot of buzz around. There's a lot of buzz around, and I'm trying to decide whether to go into it or choose good. I think so. I worked with Go also, but the way I think about it is I think about my return on investment of my time and my effort a lot, and I don't see what Go is gonna get me that Rust is not gonna get me. But there's a lot that Rust is gonna get you that Go is not gonna get you. A lot of things have been, a lot of critical stuff have been built in Rust now. Tari is Rust. A lot of TypeScript toolings are written in Rust. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff being written in Golang also. But if you think about WebAssembly, Wasma is written in Rust, and Wasm time is written in Rust. These are WebAssembly runtime written in Rust, and Rust is probably the language of WebAssembly. If you put all those things together, then I think using Rust would be optimal. I am interested in developing something for self-sovereign identity, something about digitalizing physical cards like national ID card, passports, university certificates, etc. Oh, that's cool. This is something that I've actually been curious about in the past. Um, but are you planning to develop this locally? Because there will be a lot of like regulation or regulatory stuff you would have to um take care of. I can imagine. I can imagine. I see the tears in your eye, lay it all on me. You be your word inside, let it fall for me. I feel your pain and know. Don't be afraid to show me. In case you're wondering, I'll be here for you. I had a woman once, she said to me, the only things that matter is what you believe. If you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. In case you're wondering, I'll be here for you. Yeah, imagine. Could you ever imagine? Oh, imagine. Don't give up, don't give in. Keep writing, I love this. Hey, yeah, imagine. Could you ever imagine? Every melody. The aim is that by 2025, 26, every European citizen will have access to the data with Euro standard and accepted by authorities as well. Yeah, that's okay. You also said digitalize. So I'm mostly trying to decide what people are using in the space of self-sovereign identity and choose the language so that. Oh, that's actually a good idea. That's true. I got a notification. Um, I got a notification so that they are trying to do some kind of like digital ID stuff. So when I'm traveling in Europe now, I may not even need to carry my passport. I could just um, they could just use my digital ID. And United States already uses that because um, my brother is an American citizen, and when um, we we were traveling together, he didn't have to show his passports because there's this I believe biometric system they use, and I think that's what Europe is also trying to do. Well, that's cool. You're thinking fire. That's smooth. That's smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Smooth, 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 smooth. Smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Smooth, smooth. 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 Smooth, 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 smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Well, that's cool. So, are you looking to like work with the government or just do this as your own personal project? Um. So, okay, we can go 13 upwards, and then we can pretty much use the same thing here for so we have link 1, I believe, import that. So let's take self, right, and field receiver, because that's what all we need, right? Then table, so we can probably derive all this thing. Then we don't need is list anymore, so list no type, I mean linked type, replace self with current struct. Can we always get away with that? I guess. I swear by the moon and the sun in the sky, I'll be there for better or worse. To that do us part. I love you with every beat of my heart. I swear, I swear, oh, I swear. Memories, that is what I'm taking with me. And I wish you joy and happiness. Whatever the bodies, I wish you love. And I will always love you. I will always love you. I will always normalize field name. So we can do normalized field name, field receiver, normalize idents. Then I also need struct name, struct idents, I could search for a million years. Let's do struct ident. Well, there are a lot of potential privacy and security issues with done by it can damage your life. Yeah, that's true. Think about having digital ID and also digital currency. The government basically has absolute control over our lives, and that would be kind of like messy, right? That wouldn't be nice. So I kind of want to get into trying to investigate. Oh, that's cool. That's a very big vision you've got there. I hope it works out. I really hope it does. Yeah. But wouldn't you need to integrate with the government agencies and all that? I'm lonely. How long have we been streaming now? 3 hours. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. From Meta. Mm, 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 mm. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Da 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 da. So actually, so we got this to be link one attribute type. So that's gonna have the generics and lifetime and the schema type. That'll come from the import. Right. We'll take the type, we import it. Is that gonna include the generics? I think it should. The user is expected to specify the generics. But anyways, I don't want to distract you. Sure, I will have to comply and work with whoever is working on it. May not be fun, but gotta get some credibility in the space first. That's totally true. But anyways, I don't want to distract you longer with it. Sorry. No, that's totally fine. Like I don't feel distracted. I feel entertained, and it's actually good to engage with the chat because, this is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So it's nice to be able to divert every now and then. Rustaceans are waiting for the best ORM to be released. Ooh! Yeah, I think we are gonna build the best ORM. I promise I'm not gonna let you guys down. We're supporting Sorry DB engine now, but we're adding support for. We already have all the protocols and the primitives to support Postgres. Like I have the clear mental picture to support Postgres, MySQL, SQLite, MongoDB. I actually have an implementation for MongoDB which I implemented last. It was 2022 already. I spent a weekend doing that, or was it last year? I think it was 2022. So yeah, thanks. It's same. I appreciate you for the encouragement. You guys have been so amazing. You've been amazing. You appreciate it. But yeah, keep the comment coming, keep the questions coming. Like that's what the streams are for. To engage, to chat, to ask questions, to just life shouldn't be too serious. Ooh, don't do that. We can have fun while working. So let's all fun. So for links here, we can actually just call on what did I just do? Yeah, For link cell, we can just call link one from record links and just pass the same stuff. So what we can actually do is, I mean, this does take self. You know, we can create a converter. Link, we should be able to convert link self to link one. So let's do implement from link. Which one makes sense? I think link self for link one. Yep. So pretty much we take link self, and since it's just a wrapper type, however, we actually want to do replace self with current ident, but we don't have access to that. What a bummer. um um let's think, because essentially link self can, it just basically links to the current struct, and it doesn't really matter because you just need to specify this current struct name. However, you can also use the self keyword. So we would actually definitely need, if we're converting link self to link one, we're gonna need um, the we're gonna need the current struct name. Although we don't have a problem with that because we're already calling link replace self. Um, but anyway, I have an idea. Maybe we don't need to do this. This might introduce a little bit of indirection into our work. If you really think about it, so we have this. We could do replace self with this, right? That's the only difference. Yep. Replace self with current struct idents. Do we need that here? Let's see how we're using link node. Let's see. Basically, we're using that as schema type. Import that. So we definitely wouldn't want to have self. And in the import, at least, we don't want to make that. We don't want to accept self there. Can this break when I found you? Then we return self. It can just be a struct name, and then we use schema type. We're gonna have to have generics here. I'm not sure if we could always infer that, but we might have to explicitly have the generics there. And also we're using it in this validation, assert, implement one. So I think, yeah, to be on the safe side, we actually want to replace self anyways. And in that case, we might be able to use a converter between them. So I'm thinking if it makes sense to be able to go from self to one or one to self. Every self is also every self is also link one. Conceptually, link self is just a self-referential link one, but not all link ones can be link self. So they are not symmetric. When a type has self, that's also a link one, just linking to self. Yeah, that makes sense. But if a type is link one, it's just a specific case of link one. So one on so we can do pub. We don't even need to create some crazy converter. We can do to self and um, um, actually it should be we should have that on um, to link um, so here we could actually just do link self type b How often do I stream? When I'm stable, I pretty much stream every day. If you check my previous stream, you'll see that I stream every day possible. Um, I I stream when I can. I only don't stream when I really can't like when I can't work very comfortably. So maybe I'm on the move, I'm flying. Even when I'm flying and sick, I remember when I was a couple of months ago, or less than that, I was at the Heathrow airport. I was in London. I was extremely sick. I was ill, and I came on. I was streaming, but it turns out that my stream was messed up. I think my screen was frozen or something. And despite the internet being bad, I still try to like stream because I work anyways. Even when I'm sick, I'm working. At night, I'm working. So as long as the situation permits for me to like stream, I stream. I stream anyways. That's how we roll. I know I see. I see. Yeah, so I try to come online as frequently as possible. So couldn't we, since it implements the ref, we should be able to do that. And we replace the self with current struct and do that so we can share the implementation. Nice. And I believe we're gonna have to do the same thing for these. Okay. Or doesn't it use that? It doesn't. Nice. I'm actually getting excited. So now we have nested object and nested array. We're gonna do something a little bit similar, or maybe not, because they have completely different implementation actually. So guys, I'm getting pumped. Pumpy. Pumpy. So we can do link many. We've got for link many. We still need to clean the implementation up. We've got for link self. We've got for link one and link list simple. So what we want to do now is nests or nest objects, and we could call the method. And to tell you what, since pretty much everything I need is, I know what to do. I'm gonna use everything I'm gonna need would ever be in the field receiver and the table derived attributes anyways. I'm gonna use a trait system, but we coming back to that. The beauty if I'm using the trait system is I don't even need this. I don't need it, but we're coming back to that. So let's say get link method. That's awesome. I'll make sure to join in again. I think one can learn a lot from you. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. That means a lot. Yeah, that's my goal, for people to be able to learn from me. So that means a lot to me that you said that. And I will try to make every stream worth every while. So tell me when you feel like I'm going astray, I'm not doing something right, and I'll try to improve on it. Please let me know when I'm not doing something right, and I'll try to do it better. I'm glad you've been able to find this useful. And this is just Rust. I've worked a lot extensively with many other languages too. I got to go continue writing the paper. Deadline is very close. Oh, I hope you make it soon. And I wish you all the best. Thanks a lot for joining. I appreciate you. It means a lot to me. And thanks for subscribing. Thanks for supporting me. I don't take that for granted. And I appreciate the question. I appreciate the stream. Keep the question coming, the feedback, the suggestions and recommendation. It means a lot, guys. Thank you very much for your awesome answers. Good luck on your song and KDD too. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're starting the first karaoke driven development on this channel. Yeah, thanks. I also wish you all the best in everything you're doing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a fabulous and wonderful night. Also, yep. So we can just take that. And if you have any question, don't hesitate, please. Like, just let me know. I really don't mind the questions. I actually want and like having those questions. Field receiver, yep. And with that, we can get a node type. Basically, the node type is you're welcome. It's the least I can do. I'm always happy to help. I'm always here. And yeah, I might go grab something to eat and all that soon, but I will be streaming even later today because we're still it's like the afternoon here, so we still got some time here, so you might even still be able to join my stream today. Oh, I mean, it's probably late night there, so but I'm here anytime, every time. I am here. Normalize field name, ha 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 ha. So actually we probably need the raw. I need to see how it's used. Probably used for the method, so we need the raw stuff. Um, the raw identifier. Then we need the struct identifier, so that's struct name ident. Yep, that puts the bill. Yep, and maybe I should just reuse these there since I've cleaned this up a little bit. Um, yep, 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 yep. Um. So 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 this is object, right? And object is not a list. The first one, I believe. Oh, that was object also. So maybe this should be a list. Um, next list. Okay, next array. Array. Yep. Looks good. And because that's an array, we essentially just want to take that off. Go. Take that off. Yep. Now let's go to the object, and this is an object, so we essentially, this is gonna reduce the cognitive overhead of working on this project, because everything is now well properly encapsulated. Yep, let's delete that. Looks good. Let's bring that in. Remove that. Turn. Format that. Actually, okay, that's the return, so that's fine. That is fine. We could even do something like scan to Langray. In this picture, and I find you. Okay, looks good. Then we'll clean that up. So let's just say, ooh, um, move links and array, um, link connection or link method encapsulation to the relation type, relation wrapper type, to improve discoverability and simplicity. Oof. Yep. Push. Yep. So now we need to think about, we need to figure out, like, and if you really think is like we using the same stuff, so I might end up like just creating a trait system. If I'm using a trait, then I'm not gonna need this anymore. Although, although, well, it's not a problem. We could just return an empty stuff. Um, I need to look at relates. I don't think we have relate yet. Right, so we could do relation. Relate is a lot more like involved. So you have like relate. Let's just have that. I need to look at the metadata we're gonna need there because it's a lot more involved with it. So if we come here now, you're gonna see we need to add direction to it. Okay, we need the identifier of the 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 edge, right? This is just an extra vibe I added to this, and you understand what I mean. So for example, the node might be, or the edge might be outgoing, or it might be incoming, so from origin to destination node, or vice versa. So it could be like code breeder loves code, and it could be like code is loved by code breeder. You get what I'm saying? So this just gives you a little bit of visual feedback on the direction of the relationship. So the static assertions, well, that could just be a separate method on it. That's not a problem. These are just like static assertions. For that, we're using the struct name, the identifier, basically. We're using the field type, and the field type can be going from the field receiver, and the relation is basically self. So we have everything from field receiver. My feeling is telling me that, my gut feeling is telling me that we can actually create a trait for this relation. We have what we need there. Struct, we have it from table attribute derive. This we have it from field receiver. So pretty much we have everything we need to execute this. We have extra static assertion being used. Yep. And okay, I'll come back to that. Then the token stream, we can pretty much just so this is exact the main thing we need, I believe. The connection stuff. So what are we doing here? We are creating the edge, the original name. We're getting the original name. We add the direction to it just to give it a little bit of vibe, although it adds a little bit of complexity to it. Then we're implementing a bunch of stuff to enable you do limitless graph traversal. And so we handle the imports. That's good. We get the original struct name so that this goes from the edge to the destination node, and this is the connection for that. And we have some more complexity because so for example, yeah, we have this edge with directions. We implement a bunch of converter builders for that edge, and yeah edges, yeah. The reason I implemented this, which is a very interesting case, is that you can actually have edge to edge, like a cycle. You can have a cycle, so you can have like nose, and you can have like filters around that, and that is what this takes care of. But looking at all these, it looks like we have pretty much everything we need, right? And we're getting that from. No, there's this. Okay, I see we're updating that so it's unique. That's why we're using a hash map. We don't need that for now. Let's, what else update do actually? Um, so it's trying to update the hash map at every iteration. And I guess the reason I'm doing that is, imagine you have like user um user drives car, user drives user drives car, user drives something else, right? User drives bike. I know you ride bike, but let's hypothetically, user drives car, user drives uh, user drives car, user drives a truck, right? Now, from the edge itself, the connection from the edge, the outgoing edge or whatever it is, we actually have two destination nodes, car and trucks, which are like completely two different models. In this kind of scenario, you, on that edge, you actually when you're traversing the graph, you there could be a scenario whereby you want to go to car or you want to go to truck. So you need to be able to support those two cases. So it's going to be user drives truck. So drives can link to truck. So truck itself is going to be a method which is going to return the schema, not the model. It's going to return the schema of truck, and we're also going to have a car which is going to return the schema of car. And I think this is a good spot to take a little break and, you know, just come back a little bit later and continue streaming. You guys are so amazing. You guys are so amazing. Um, Now we've taken over the world super fast. They made us who we are. Oh my god. I'll see you guys soon. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the real MVP. I appreciate you for supporting my work, for asking questions, for making suggestions, recommendations, just everything. I appreciate you guys. Remember, keep being careful, cheerful, or maybe not careful, but be cheerful, be be kind, break code, love what you do, and hopefully you're able to do what you love. I appreciate you guys. Let's build stuff. Let's do this. I'm excited, and we're just getting started. We're just getting started. You guys are so amazing. I appreciate you. Thanks. And I'm Code Breeder. You're Code Breeder. We're all code breeders, and this is what we do. This is how we're making the world a better place in our own little ways. I hope you guys are finding value in my work, and I hope you'll find even more value from my other work and this also. I can't wait to share a lot that I have coming out this year. I have books, courses. I have like 7 to 8 open source projects coming out. I have Surreal-orm. I have some static assertion library. I have Trust. I have class name. I have auth library. I have CDK library, basically for working with your Kubernetes cluster, like infrastructure as code, which is going to support customize the basic Kubernetes standard Kubernetes manifest, then customize and what was it called? Elm. Then I've got an animation and gesture library coming. So I can't wait to share what I'm working with you guys. I've got books coming also. I've got courses coming. and I'm also building software. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I will be back. I don't know, it might even be in a few minutes, but I'll be back at least before dusk. Would dusk be the writing? So I'm on I don't know what's my time zone now, but it's about 4 p.m. on my side. So I'll be back soon. I just want to grab something to eat, take some break, maybe nap a little bit, talk with my loved ones, and I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you really, really, really soon. And let's continue doing this work. See you soon.